Hello, my name is Jesse, and I'm a pastor here in Seattle and Washington in America. It's always good to connect with you, and during this video, please leave any comments below, any prayer requests so we can pray for you, and also share this video with other people if you think they'll be encouraged. Now today, let's take a few minutes and think about marriage together. And we've been reading through the Bible in a year, and we just finished the Song of Songs. It's also called the Song of Solomon. And it's really a story about two people coming together, a man and a woman, and their marriage. And I want to point out to you that you might be in a season where you're single, and being single is no less significant than being married. You're not less important, you're not second rate. Sadly, in a lot of churches, there isn't a lot of consideration for singles. That shouldn't be. Being single is a high honor, and there's incredible purpose in being single. When you read about what Jesus says about being single, you have an incredible opportunity to spread the gospel and build the kingdom. And you have all kinds of freedoms. You can read 1 Corinthians chapter 7 about that. But also be prayerful and be discerning. Wait for the right person. Don't just force marriage, and don't try to make something work that God's not in. And with that, when God brings the right person and you get married, there's a lot of instruction in the Bible about marriage. You know, being single is good. Also, being married is a blessing. And right away in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, God brings Adam and Eve together. Marriage, a man and a woman coming together with a commitment. It's not just between the two of them, but there's a commitment to the Lord. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. And when you think about Adam and Eve coming together and God ordained this marriage, marriage is something that can be so difficult. If you're married, you might know that it's one of the most difficult things in life because God will use it to sharpen you and change you and make you more like Jesus, to chip away at the selfishness and to really love the other person. In the Bible, there's a love called agape, where you put the other person first, and that's essential in marriage. But that's not easy to do, and that's a daily decision. Now, in the book of Song of Songs, we read about a fox that destroys the vineyard. It's the little things, a lot of times in life, that can destroy a great thing. And in marriage, when it falls apart, it's not just one decision. It's usually a sequence or a series of many small decisions. And the foxes can be those habits of selfishness, not listening to the other person, not spending time with the other person, maybe having hobbies that are you consider more important. You're distracted by your marriage. You just take the other person for granted. It could be porn or an emotional affair with someone, but those foxes, they do work, they destroy the vineyard. So how do you guard unity in your marriage? I would say start with the spiritual aspects. When you think about marriage and spiritually, there's chances to pray together and also to read the Bible together, go to church together, build that foundation spiritually to protect the unity. When you slack on the spiritual aspect of marriage, the other things get a lot more intense and there can be a lot more conflict that arises. And so as you build things up spiritually, there will be times when you have conflict, but then you'll be equipped to pray, to listen, to not be bringing put-downs, screaming, nothing physical. When you have conflict, you still want to honor the Lord during the times of conflict. I want to encourage you today, if your marriage is in a really rough state, maybe you're even separated, you're considering divorce, it's not too late to turn to Jesus, to forgive the other person, and ask forgiveness. That's where reconciliation starts. Own your stuff, apologize sincerely, and then if they don't apologize right away, be patient, but apologize for everything you've done first. Don't point the finger. And then keep praying. And as they apologize, see, when you humble yourself before the Lord, you can humble yourself before each other. That's part of guarding the unity in a marriage. It takes sacrifice, submission, and it also takes forgiveness, and all that brings restoration. So today, when you think about marriage and you think about what is God's design, it's for two people to come together with a lifelong commitment. And ultimately, it isn't about two people, because marriage is a picture of Jesus and the church. Read Ephesians chapter 5, and you will glorify Jesus in your marriage. Keep Jesus at the center of your marriage. Marriage is treacherous. You can't do it alone. But God wants us to guard the unity, guard the temptations and the pride that destroy marriages. And instead, with that, get lots of help. If you need a counselor, there's no shame in that. If you want to talk to your pastor, there's no shame in that. Get some help so that you can continue to make that marriage strong. And don't forget, divorce impacts kids so much. My parents got divorced, and I know the scars that that leaves. And so think about the Lord today. Think about the person that you married when you first married them and how much you served them and loved them. Go back to those habits And I want to tell you there's hope today. Guard the unity of your marriage. Marriage is a blessing from the Lord. And make sure that you're building up the spiritual foundation of your marriage. That's God's plan, desire, and will. And I hope you're encouraged today. Again, read Ephesians chapter 5, and you can read the Song of Songs in the Bible too. If you like this video, please, again, leave comments below. I know we connect all around the world, so let us know where you're watching from today. Share the video. And also, God Life TV has a lot of great resources, so check that out too. Thanks. I love you, and I'm praying for you. Have a great day with Jesus.